himself, Mr. John Partridge. Thank you so much.
We have just seen your performance of Emcee in Cabaret. Hello, fellow leggers. Thank you for joining us once again. We are out in the Midlands at the Grand Theatre in Wolverhampton.
And we are catching the UK tour of one of Kander and Ebb's most beloved musicals, Cabaret.
So as usual, stick around to hear our thoughts.
Find out how many stars.
Whether it's break a leg
or leg it.
Catching another touring production for you this evening, this time Cabaret. It's early on in the tour for this cast, right?
Yeah, it's only its second venue, so we're really lucky to be picking it up here because it's going on for a few months, I think. We'll leave a link below to the website and you can see if it's hitting a town near you. But right now, it's here in the glorious Wolverhampton at the Grand Theatre, venue I love as always. But music by Fred Ebb, lyrics by John Kander for this one, book by Joe Masteroff. Now, it's based on John Van Druten's play, I Am a Camera.
Okay.
Which itself was adapted from the short semi-autobiographical novel Goodbye to Berlin by Christopher Isherwood.
So an adaptation of an adaptation?
An adaptation of an adaptation
okay.
made a musical.
Okay.
The original production premiered on Broadway in 1966 and was directed by Hal Prince, was a massive hit, playing 1,165 performances and won 8 Tony Awards,
wow,
including Best Musical. If, like me, you're more familiar with the film adaptation, because it was later then adapted again into a screenplay, directed and choreographed famously by Bob Fosse. Now, if you've seen Fosse Verdon, the TV show, you'll know all about the history of that, because it goes into quite a lot of detail about how Bob managed to get his hands on that. The film version saw Liza Minnelli playing the role of Sally Bowles in a pretty much, I would say, her most iconic role ever.
Okay.
And I have fallen off many a chair wearing a bowler hat trying to recreate the Mine Hair number.
That choreography is iconic.
It is. It also saw in the film Joel Grey reprising his Broadway role as Emcee. The film picked up 8, there's a theme here, 8 Tonys, then 8 Oscars,
okay,
and actually holds a record for the most Oscars earned by a film that wasn't Oscared for the Best Picture.
Wow.
So it got everything else. But
Didn't win Best Picture.
Didn't win Best Picture.
But it's cleared up everything else.
It did. This production is produced by Bill Kenwright and is directed by National Theatre Artistic Director Rufus Norris. Now, it started its life at the Lyric Theatre, West End in 2006, where Sheila Hancock...
This version?
This production...
Wow, okay.
Sheila Hancock picked up an Olivier for Best Supporting Actress in a Musical in that production for her portrayal as Fraulein Schneider, and it's been out on several tours between then and now.
Right, okay.
So it tends
it must
to get
be
back
good,
out
right?
on the road. Well,
it's gotta be good.
It's a big name, isn't it, Cabaret? In this cast, we have the wonderful John Partridge as Emcee.
Who I'm sure we saw just a few weeks ago in the view
John,
upstairs.
Like, have you ran from one venue to the other? Like, you've hit the road, Jack, because the view upstairs only finished 2 weeks ago.
It's got a double, they're a twin, double act.
John's credits also include Cats, the film version of that from the late 1990s, but he's got experience coming out of his ears. In fact, I'd go so far to say there's nothing he's not good at.
Including cooking. Wasn't he Celebrity MasterChef recently?
Celebrity MasterChef 2018, he was indeed. Now, if you don't know what Cabaret is, guys, if you're a musical theatre fan, what have you been thinking? It's the story set in 1931 Berlin as the Nazis are rising to power and threaten the lifestyles and relationships of the performers and patrons of a seedy Berlin nightclub called the Kit Kat Klub, and features iconic songs such as Welcome, Maybe This Time, and the title song Cabaret.
Okay.
Runtime 2.5 hours, including a 20-minute interval, so stick around for our 30-second breakdown.
And also to the end to hear our thoughts and find out how many stars. We've come to the interval, which means it's time for the break-a-leggers.
30-second interval breakdown. What do you think? Should we start with you?
I am absolutely loving it, fellow leggers. I don't know what I thought this piece would be, but it's not what I thought it would be, and I love it. I love the decadency of the period. I love the nudity. I love the choreography. I'm gripped. How about you?
Yeah, I just think it's a stunning piece of theatre. It's my kind of theatre. It's sort of avant-garde and a bit abstract, but dark and gritty, and dealing with subjects even by today's standards are taboo. The risks that these guys were taking back then are amazing, and they're paying off still today. Can't wait. Well, not only have we come to the end of Cabaret, but we've come to the end of a bit of time with John Partridge.
Oh my goodness, we met John Partridge.
Yeah.
He's a lovely man.
He's the loveliest guy. I mean,
So
is he
stick
the nicest guy
around.
in showbiz? Quite possibly.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
He like hugged us and everything.
Oh, what a dream.
Stick around to the end of this video and you'll see our little chat with him.
Yes.
He's a nice guy.
Please
Anyway,
do. Let's
so
talk about the production. And I feel like
Cabaret.
it's only fair to start with you, seeing as I've seen the film, I saw like a recorded version of a Donmar Warehouse production, so I was sort of familiar with the piece. For you,
I've
other
not
than a
seen
couple
this.
of the iconic numbers,
yeah, I've
that's
not seen it done professionally at all, so I haven't seen
And-
the film,
and-
I've not seen lots of other things. Oh, what do I think
I mean,
of the
like,
piece?
what do you think of I mean, let them know.
Absolutely loved this piece. I think it is up there now with possibly my favourite musicals. Kander and Ebb are brilliant. I'm thinking of The Rink, which I love. I'm also thinking of Kiss the Spider Woman, which I love, and almost
Yeah,
has echoes
Chicago.
of this. Yeah, and which almost has echoes of this in terms of Kiss the Spider Woman, because you've got the Emcee coming out and singing isolated numbers that echo what's going on, and that's almost the role of the Spider Woman in the Kiss the Spider Woman. So I can see echoes of that there. However, this piece is brilliant.
Yes.
I wasn't even aware that it's not like a family-friendly piece. Like it's got
What did you expect it to be?
nudity.
I think that's the
And
thing.
it's
When you
adult-
know, everyone thinks Cabaret, they think of the nice chirpy life
I
is
think
a
it's
cabaret.
oh,
But
Joe.
in the setting, in the actual,
It's not.
It's dark and it's
Who knew?
very threatening and it's very sort of cutting and very, very sad.
And very clever.
Very
oh my God, the
clever.
concepts it uses to reel us in, for us to care about this love story that we see from start to finish. Well, we see a couple of love stories. One real true love story, really, about this older couple who are just so sweet.
Yeah,
And
and
you
that's the
follow the
thing.
journey of the guy who's so innocent and thinks, oh, everything will be fine, we'll survive. And we know that they don't.
You'll be
It's tragic.
You'll be coming to this, I'm sure many of you, knowing the film. Don't expect the film here. You are going to get a lot more character development. You're going to get multiple love stories, twists and turns that you don't get in the film. Musical numbers you don't get in the film as well.
Yeah.
And all the better for it. As a complete storytelling piece of musical theatre, you're right, it's up there with the greats.
It's so dark as well as funny.
Yeah.
It's so creative in its staging. Anyway, so well, let's talk about that's the piece.
That's the piece.
And the music I thought was great. We've got these lovely big kind of cabaret numbers,
Yeah.
and then really nice stripped back numbers that are more kind of musical theatre numbers, just
More
people,
conversational, resonant to their situation.
and then they slowly come in these really subtle chords, and then they build and build and build, and then they drop out again. It's just really
Genius writing.
Genius
Kander and Ebb are
writing.
geniuses.
Kander and Ebb. Brilliant book.
But as for production, what did you
Okay,
think
now
of
we're
it in
moving
this
on to
production?
well, I'm thinking that many of you leggers have probably seen this, because you
It's
say it's
been
been
around-
around since 2006.
Yeah, like it had a bit of an update and a bit of a change when it went from the West End to tour, but
Okay.
at heart it was still the same production with the same director.
Oh my goodness, this production is special.
Yeah,
The
really
choreography is brilliant. The staging, the musical staging of those numbers, the simplicity of using the cast to move a lot of the set around and being omnipresent through a lot of the numbers. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And also, like, the idea, I'm not sure what the original book has in terms of the nudity, and whether they added that in to amplify within this production what Berlin would have been like at the time.
You're throwing that away largely because I think we need to focus on that for a moment, because there were people, there were audible gasps when there was full frontal nudity in this production, very early on, and that's what I loved about this production, is it didn't shy away. It's visiting coastal towns, it's catering to Blue Rinse matinees, yet it is such an in-your-face, dark, violent, sexual production that I think, for me, it was just an absolute genius touch to not strip that out. It would have been safe. It would have been the sort of thing you'd do in London, and you'd go cosmopolitan audiences, they're going to get it. Or when we go on the road to Eastbourne, we better tone that down. They tone nothing down here. It is literally dicks in your face.
It is unashamedly what it is. It's
Yeah.
saying, this is what we are,
Yep.
like it or lump
From
it.
the off.
This is what it would have been at the time.
Yeah.
You know, we're free.
Berlin was
at the
decadent,
time.
it was sexualised,
Yeah,
it was liberal.
It was so liberal
Yeah.
before the Nazi Party came in and made such complete changes, obviously. But at the time, it was almost the liberal centre of
Yeah.
Europe. There was so much going on.
And I think in a time, to put this on at a time where the far right is on the rise, you think of Trump's America, you think of how Brexit has divided the country, you think of things like hate crimes being on the rise in this country, and we've got to, what this is saying is take a look at the past and learn lessons from it, guys. It's actually quite scary in the way that it's still relevant, even for a situation that happened in the 1930s in a different country. It wouldn't take much to step back there, and we can't allow that to happen. I think putting this on the road now is making people think about things in a more in a relevant and different way.
It's
and
as
actually
relevant
quite
now.
daring.
Everything
Daring
is
is
relevant.
what I would say.
Absolutely. So the production is
Yeah,
great. It's
absolutely.
relevant to now.
And
the staging is
the
great.
choreography.
So direction and choreography, I
Yeah, so
think.
director Rufus Norris, artistic at the National. Best thing I've seen him do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yep. Choreographer is Javert de Frutos.
Javert. Why
Javert.
don't you just let go of that loaf of bread? But anyway, yes, he's the choreography
Might be
was
Havia.
ingenious.
Javert.
How each of those cabaret MC numbers was unique and individual, using props, was absolute genius.
Yeah. He's one of
Choreographic
only
genius.
3 artists in the history of the Olivier Awards to receive nominations in every dance category.
Wow.
And there are a lot of styles in this. There's sort of acrobatic movements. There's sort of these
love
sort
the
of
lines.
floaty lines and
Distorted
beautiful
lines of legs.
Yeah, it was just stunningly choreographed. Like
Aerial jumps.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic choreography.
daring is what I would call the choreography. If I had to sum it up in one word, I'd say everything about it was daring.
Daring choreography.
Daring
There we go.
choreography.
Just like the piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
Designer Katrina Lindsay as well. Loved the simplicity of that dowdy, run-down bedroom scenario, and then into the glitzy, all singing or dancing club where we were there to be entertained, and we absolutely were. Loved the design.
Loved the lighting. I
differences.
loved the orchestra and band, and that we could see them as well. So I guess that set design as well.
Yeah.
Within that, kept it very immediate.
Absolutely.
Loved it.
Let's move on to some of the performances now.
Okay.
Really large ensemble, all of which are bloody fit. In many ways, they're beautiful. The women are sexy, the men are gorgeous, they've got toned bodies. They wear those costumes, or lack of costumes, really, really well.
Yes,
And
they're
I
a
loved
fantastic
that.
showcase for them.
Let's talk about James Patterson as Herr Schultz.
Loved him, bit biased, but lovely voice.
Yeah.
Beautiful, rich voice. Played that real innocence of someone just trying to find love and real naivety about the situation really well.
Yeah.
Enjoyed everything he did.
Absolutely.
Worked really well against ANITA HARRIS.
Yep,
I
ANITA
thought.
Harris, Fraulein Schneider, who they got this sort of unfortunate love story where they're torn between their hearts and their heads, both of them. I mean, very much he's leading with his heart and she's overthinking everything. She's come from a jaded background and she played that character being worn down and saying, I've got to the age I'm at by looking after myself and surviving. She can't let go of that. She can't put her emotions
Yeah.
and herself in someone else's hands. The fragility of ANITA Harris playing that part was beautiful.
Yeah, kind
and
of
her
led
singing
by
voice
fate.
as well.
I loved her singing voice. There's a real husky tone to what she
Yeah.
was doing.
I mean,
I loved it.
She's been in the industry forever. She's famous for being in the Carry On films. She sang with Cliff Richard and Tom Jones, all the greats. And it's great to see her still working because we're treated to that performance.
I thought she was brilliant.
Charles Haggerty in the role of Cliff Bradshaw.
I
How is he
didn't
not
realise.
American?
I didn't realise
he
this
is.
was. Is he American?
That would make sense because I was thinking his American accent is
I
bloody
didn't
good.
realise
No, he
that
is
this was
American.
a gay piece, or so heavy on those themes. Which, if you think about when it was written,
Yeah.
what a message that was putting out there at the time.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I bought into that love story, the complexity of trying to find his place, following his desires, an awareness of what's going on, and wanting to help people and follow a life and wanting to get out.
It was
brilliant.
so natural. He was in the original cast of If Then with Adina Menzel. I mean,
What?
wow, he's big business,
We're lucky
guys.
to be-
We are lucky to
yeah.
have him over here working. Also, quick mention for Basenka Blake as Fraulein Kost, the sort of slutty neighbour character. I felt you, darling, bringing all those sailors home. Seriously.
You're jealous.
Kinship. me and you, girl, going on the pull.
And let's talk about
Cara Lily Hayworth as Sally Bowles.
A fantastic singing voice.
Yeah.
She really, the vocal range was there. Yeah. Really enjoyed that.
And no way was she trying to emulate Liza Minnelli's performance. It just felt her own. And that's the thing, actually, Liza Minnelli, she plays an American in it. They switch the parts. So the American is English guy and Liza is American.
Oh, really?
So they switched the nationalities of those parts.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So, but it was always written that she was British.
Yeah.
And she just plays it with such an ease and simplicity. And her singing was flawless.
Beautiful.
Flawless.
Okay.
And last but by no means least, Mr. John Partridge in the role of Emcee.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It's such a dark character. It is the part you want to play.
Yeah.
He gets so much to do, being other parts as well throughout it. Singing, dancing. It's a performer's dream. And boy, does he bring the whole spectrum of performance to it.
I mean, we'll let him talk a little bit about why he wanted this part, what it means to him, because he talks about that in our chat with him. But what it means to us as an audience is we get to see a man still at the top of his game after being in the industry since he was 16, but that wealth of experience that he brings to the stage in every single discipline means that his performance is unforgettable, he's completely his own, and he captivates every single moment he's on that stage.
And what a journey he has to go through playing all those many parts. You see him angry in the face of the kind of rising Nazi party. You see him as like the Jews,
and also the clown.
You see him as the clown. You see him. You love him, and then he's also not nice, and he's swearing at you. And it's just such a brilliantly written part
and brilliantly performed. That's the point. It can be there on the page, but it takes a really skilled actor to bring that out. I mean, what I'd like to know...
a cartwheel as well. He can slam that cartwheel.
There's nothing this man can't do. I won't hear it said.
I thought it was a dancer, and I was like, oh, that's...
Suddenly, he's an acrobat too.
Yeah.
I bet he's got circus credits. I bet he has.
Quite probably.
Anyway, let's wrap it up.
We probably should.
Yeah, we've been here a while.
So, for the Cabaret, which is currently on a UK tour. Well, I was just thinking, before we make sure you hit subscribe to keep up to date with our reviews.
Please do. Give us a like if you like what we do. Give us a dislike if you don't. Be something, don't be nothing. So, Cabaret on the UK tour.
Cabaret here at Wolverhampton Grand.
Currently at Wolverhampton Grand. We are going to give... 5.
Undoubtedly a 5-star show.
You said immediately you'd see it again, and when there's so much theatre out there, we don't see things twice, very rarely. But you would have gone back straight in.
I would go straight back in and see this. I would recommend people to see this as well, because I think it's challenging. It isn't just it's fun and you're laughing, but it's a message that is like, I took my breath away. At the end, when the curtain came down, I had to forcibly inhale.
Like you were holding your breath.
Yeah, because I was with it. I was like, wow.
It could be one of those pieces we're talking, can anybody have a map about pieces you might not take your nan to?
Yes.
This might be one of those. But do you know what? Challenge your nan.
Challenge your nan.
That's a pull quote. It'll challenge your nan. Put that on the poster, guys.
But I absolutely loved it.
That's just what I think.
And totally just what I think.
Yeah, what do you think? Let us know down below if you've caught this in any carnation, but particularly this core with this amazing this production with this amazing cast.
Anyway, we're the Breakleggers.
And we'll catch you again soon. Bye. We are here with the one and only JP himself, Mr. John Partridge. Woo! Thank you so much.
We have just seen your performance of Emcee in Cabaret, and boy, what a performance.
What a performance. Was this a bit of a bucket list role for you, like when this came up?
It was. When I knew this was going out on the road, I called Bill and I actively petitioned for this gig, because in this game, timing is everything, and these things roll around and then they go away, and you have to grab them while you can.
Well, it's paid off. It really has for everybody.
Did you really enjoy it?
Genuinely.
Do you know what?
Wow.
Have you seen it
always
before?
worrying. Well, here's the thing, right? Because we knew we were going to come and meet you afterwards, and there's always that moment of, what if we didn't enjoy the show? What are we going to say? How are we going to make this?
We can divert the question.
Do you know what? And we're very relieved. I think this is up there with one of the best shows I've seen, because at Kander and Ebb, I think they are just geniuses anyway.
Absolutely.
What is it about this show? What is it about the role of Emcee that made you go, yes, I need to petition Bill?
Well, I think if you think this show was written 50, 60 years ago, and to be taking this show around the country right now with our own political landscape the way it is really, it's exciting. You know, we see that move away from liberalism, we see a bend towards the right with Trump and Farage and Le Pen, we have Brexit. If you are to believe what's going on in the Labour Party, we have the rise of anti-Semitism there. You know, I'm not an overtly political creature, but I am approaching an age where these things concern me more. And the fact that we get to take a show like this on the road that seems to me to be as relevant, if not more relevant, than when it was written, obviously gives it an extra resonance. You know, this is a great, if you haven't seen this production, you haven't seen Cabaret, it is a great big glitzy musical, but it is also deals with extremely powerful themes. And I would say to you, if you are somebody that doesn't like musicals, if you are the sort of person that just thinks, you know, that likes a play over a musical, come and see this show, because the book on this show is also brilliant. Extremely strong.
I've got to agree, because it deals with things that are so taboo and it's scarily relevant, like you said. And what it doesn't shy away from is being daring. The book is really edgy and so well written and so well crafted that you're right, it feels like a play with music at times, like it's that strong a writing.
It pulls like every punch going, like even Berlin at the time, it's all there. You see exactly what was going on.
And I lived in Berlin for 10 years and I went to the real live Kit Kat Klub. It is there, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God.
It does exist. I'm not sure how blue you can be in this little film that we're doing.
Be
I'm not.
we can be a bit blue.
But there is a Kit Kat Klub, and there is somebody. When you get to the Kit Kat Klub in Berlin, there is somebody who is notorious for it, and he's called the Wanking Man.
Wow.
And as you get to the door, Wanking Man is on the door and he's just there, you know, having a lovely time, welcoming you. So I'm not going to say that I'm sort of, you know, using that as a reference for my MC at all, but you'll have to come along and see.
It sounds like it would be inspiring stuff if you met this
I swear
guy.
to God, it's true. It is absolutely true.
That's
and
brilliant.
you know, the Kit Kat Klub is alive and well and still thriving in Berlin. But one thing I will say about that is, I lived in Germany for 10 years and people have this kind of, I think because of Germany's past, because of the themes that Cabaret deals with, people have a misconception about Germany, about what it is. But I have to say it's one of the most liberal countries that I have ever lived in. And I think because I've had a Berlin period, as David Bowie would say, I think that sort of, I try to bring a bit of that into the role. I try and bring a little bit of that.
Well, you get to wheel out your German again, because you were in Rent in Germany.
Yes, I was.
Which was a stunning performance, and your vocal on that is amazing, it's a joy to listen to. We're going to talk about a few of your past credits now, I think. Because I've got this theory, there's nothing you're not good at.
That's not true.
So you're a fantastic actor, played a character on the soap for many, many years, huge amount of character development there. You could turn, you're a dancer, you're a singer, and you're also Celebrity MasterChef winner 2018.
Cook as well.
Pre-order is available on Amazon,
you've
people.
got
There's no
book,
tips like home. Go to my bio, click the link.
Coming out. So I want to know, if some of your past shows were a food, what food would they be? The first food that comes to your mind when you think about that show.
Go.
Here we go.
So we're going to call this game Stagey Treats.
Da-da-da.
Completely spontaneous, absolutely not thought about.
Okay, here we
go. Lacage.
Oh, Lacage, it'd be candy floss.
Candy floss. Miss Saigon.
It was Singapore noodles.
Singapore noodles.
Nice.
Good.
Rent.
Oh, Ren, it would probably be sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how about taboo?
Taboo. It would probably be marshmallows.
Marshmallows.
Gorgeous,
Some
soft
nice
and
sweet stuff there.
delicious.
Yeah.
And last but not least, the view upstairs that we saw recently.
Oh, the view upstairs.
Fresh in the memory.
Cough candy.
Cough candy.
You're suffering a bit.
I was suffering, but I was exhausted when I was doing it. I was just so tired.
So
I
how
bet you
did
were.
you survive during the day rehearsing for this and the evening performing in the view upstairs?
You know,
If someone got to give a tip to someone, self-care, what is it?
Well, I don't know whether it's self-care. The material was so great on both of those shows. They were both shows that meant something to me. You know, I am really, really lucky. I came into this business at 16 and I am now 48. I've been doing this for 32 years. And for me, people say, you know, what's the highlight of your career? What are out of all the things you've done? But really, longevity is the highlight for me. The fact that I'm able to talk to you two lovely people, we're able to do this 32 years after I came into this business, you know, and I'm always really grateful for a gig. I am a jobbing actor. I say yes a lot. And yeah, it was a lot to do, but you know, it's my passion, it's what feeds me, and it's what feeds my soul. And so, to be honest, yeah, I was a bit tired.
And
but, you know,
we share your
message.
joy. Seeing you on stage,
Yeah.
having such a wonderful time and giving it your all in everything we've ever seen you in is a joy for us as an audience. So thank you, John.
Thank you, John, and thank you
for
for
your
speaking
time.
to us.
One of the nicest men in the biz, guys.
Yes, John, thank you. All the
Thank
best.
you.
Bye.
Bye.